This is culturally inappropriate.
Doyle, Doyle, Doyle. If you know, you know. Shout out to Good Times. Yours truly, God's favorite host. We are on the road. We are on location, not at the home studio, but we had to get in front of you guys live here. Get here, get the camera, get the laptop, get the equipment out. Can't leave home without it because we are always going to bring you guys the best content on YouTube. Baltimore Ravens, a lot of news happening. Yesterday was the introduction of Jesse Minter. Only 30 minutes or so. I did get to hear most of what he said. Steve Bisciotti was there. He didn't say anything, but he was smiling for the ESPN cameras and gallivanting as he does so well, and we love about him. But I'm here. We're live. It's Royal Rumble weekend. I want to feel the energy in the chat. I need you guys. I'm tired, but I'm pushing through. It's been a crazy week. We're grinding. Like I said, not at the home setup, but we're on the road, and we're still going to break it down for you. We got the Declan Doyle. Drop your Doyle in the chat. If you think about Doyle fruit as a kid growing up, you had your fruit cups at school that I used to, take from others, but we're not going to talk about that. Think about the fruit cup. Well, hopefully it's not a fruit cup offense with the Baltimore Ravens, but make sure, if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up. That's the best way to support what we do here. That pushes us out to the algorithm, pushes out to other Ravens fans, other NFL fans for the great content we do. If you've seen any of our streams, you know how entertaining, you know how much fun, you know how knowledgeable and how analytical we break it down. So we're going to do that here today. Doyle is in the building. I'm going to just be saying Doyle. Declan Doyle, DD, Double D. I don't know what the hell y'all want to call him in the chat, whatever your nickname is. You can drop the pineapple emojis. But we don't want a fruit cup offense in Baltimore. They got rid of Todd Monken, who's going to Cleveland. And I'm actually very, very happy for Todd Monken. I do want to park there for a second. Todd Monken. And also, guys, vote on a poll. We got a poll up in the chat. If you're on X, come on over to YouTube. Search the Flex Zone Podcast. Let me know how you're feeling about this hire. You like it? You love it? You don't like it? You hate it? You don't know who Doyle is? You want one of these?
Oh! Go Google it.
I got you. I Googled it. I got the information. I got where he came from. I got the trees. Everybody wants to know what coaching tree everyone comes from. Who did they coach? What is their scheme? I got all that here on the channel for you today. But Todd Monken, there's a video going around of him in the Browns facility talking about the honor of becoming a head coach, the just success, the happiness in his eyes of finally becoming a head coach at 59 years of age. And I think that's a life lesson because we have dreams. We all have things in this chat we want to accomplish. And sometimes it may not happen when we want it to. It may not come in our timing. You always hear about God's timing and not our timing. Sometimes things don't happen in our time, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes things don't happen when we want them to happen, but when it's best for us to happen. And no, Cleveland Browns aren't doing anything spectacular in the world of the NFL, but to be one of 32, even at an advanced age where you see everybody in the NFL is going to younger, innovative guys. Now, we know Cleveland is goofy with ownership, making people take IQ tests, Wonderlic test, SAT test, PSAT. I mean, it's just goofiness all around in Cleveland. But you take an opportunity. This is what he's worked his life for. Being at Georgia, two-time national champion winner. Being in Tampa. Being in Cleveland before with Freddie Kitchens, which was a debacle. He didn't call plays then, but that was just a shit show. And now you see the success he's had with the Ravens. I didn't want Todd Monken to go, but he had to go because we had to clean house. And that was no disrespect to anybody, but he had to go along with Harbaugh, Zach Orr. Unfortunately, we lost Chris Horton. He's going up there. So he's not joining Harbaugh in New York, which everybody thought was a slam dunk. He's going to Cleveland. They're desperate. He wants to be a coach. He gets to coach Shedeur. What will he be able to bring out of Shedeur Sanders? And we'll see that. We'll see what he can be at the head coaching level. He's going to call plays. We know the defense is good. They'll lose Jim Schwartz, but I don't think Cleveland's going to be a doormat forever. I don't know if they're going to go make playoff runs, and I don't know if they're going to be, at the top of this division, but I said this and I feel this deep down in my soul. With the hiring of Mike McCarthy and the hiring of Todd Monken, you still have Zach Taylor in Cincinnati, Jesse Minter in Baltimore. Jesse Minter is number one. I think we can all agree. Number two, I might put Todd Monken at number two over Zach Taylor. I'm probably putting McCarthy and Taylor tied at 3-4. You can argue in the chat who you have 3 and who you have 4. McCarthy did win the Super Bowl. Zach Taylor's been to a Super Bowl, but hasn't been to the playoffs in the last few years. Quarterback been hurt, but the AFC North, and I say that to say, I think tides are changing when it comes to the bottom of the division. I think Cleveland could usurp Pittsburgh coming up this season. Now, usurp could only mean they could win 6 games, but with the talent that they have in LA, which was great, you get Shador, you get Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, that's goofy, but you got 2 guys there to see who you can bring the best out of, Todd Monken. This is what we brought you here to do, right? You got Quinshon Judkins. You still got Myles Garrett. You drafted Harold Fanning. You got Njoku. You got Mason Graham. You have a lot of pieces. The Warden, Denzel Ward. So I think Todd Monken in Cleveland, if they give him some time, if they are patient and they really continue to draft and develop well and bring in the right free agents, I think Cleveland will be more competitive than maybe people lead on. And I wouldn't be shocked if Pittsburgh is in last place this time next year when we're talking about this. So congrats to Todd Monken once again on getting the job in Cleveland. Now let's get to Doyle. Declan Doyle is coming to Baltimore, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get my fancy graphics here. I don't have all my fancy technology, but we got you. Appreciate everybody joining me. Happy Friday. I know I'm on a different time zone as well, so I'm a little off, but shout out to everybody in the chat. I see you, Ashley, the Hawk TV, Don. Shout out to Alex. I seen you in here. But the Baltimore Ravens, this just came out a few minutes ago, about an hour ago, are hiring Bears offensive coordinator Declan Doyle as their offensive coordinator. Doyle can leave because in Baltimore, he will have play calling responsibility. This will be his first time calling plays. Maybe my biggest red flag, but we'll get back to that. New Ravens head coach Jesse Minter now has someone to run Baltimore's offense. Now, we heard last week he was one of the candidates, and him and Jesse Minter seem to have a connection. Jesse Minter seems to have wanted Doyle. Doyle, as I mentioned, did work under Ben Johnson, who's probably going to be right up there for Coach of the Year in Chicago, worked with Caleb Williams. I love that. Love what Caleb did this year. I'm a big Caleb Williams guy. I think he's going to potentially bring Chicago a Super Bowl one day. I think what he did with Caleb Williams, that is fantastic. And no, he didn't call plays. This will be his first time calling plays. But his pedigree, his work experience, his youthful nature, his age, which we'll get into the ageism of it all, because him and Lamar are the same age, if you know, you know already. But he was an Iowa student assistant from 2016 to 2018. He was born in 1996 in Iowa City, Iowa. Shout out to my guy, Jugs. Juggernaut, what's up, my guy? The Juggernaut Show. Go check out his channel. Iowa's very own. Seth Rollins as well. He went to Iowa Western in Iowa. So after his time in Iowa as a student assistant, he was in New Orleans as an offensive assistant 2019 to 2022. So there in New Orleans, he was a part of that staff. And then he goes to Denver in 2023 to 2024. He's the tight ends coach. I'm going to stop right there. In Denver under Sean Payton. Say what you want, and I always preface this. Say what you want about Sean Payton, the man. Say what you want about Sean Payton, Bountygate. Say what you want about Sean Payton, the way he talks to his players, the way he coaches sometimes, maybe some of the questionable play calls, going for 4th downs, being a gambler, the onside kick in the Super Bowl, bringing New Orleans to Super Bowl after Hurricane Katrina, how he berated and castrated and just overall dominated Russell Wilson on the sideline so the world could see it publicly. Damn near a public scathing. He coached under Sean Payton, who is a hell of a coach. You saw what he did with Denver this year. He brought the best out of Bo Nix. He worked with the tight ends there. What are the Ravens known for? We use multiple tight ends. Lamar loves to throw to the tight end, so he has experience there. Then this year, he gets to Chicago, and he's the offensive coordinator under Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's tree is growing. So he's kind of from the Sean Payton tree, but by way of – he's under the Ben Johnson tree now, but by way of Sean Payton, but more under the Ben Johnson tree with the offensive coordinator aspect, because he can bring aspects of Sean Payton. He can bring aspects of a Ben Johnson. Like I said, he was successful with Caleb Williams. Ben Johnson, he's been successful with Jared Goff. So you sit up under Ben Johnson for a year, you're going to learn a thing or two, or 3 or 4 or 5. You sit up under Sean Payton for a year or so, you're going to learn a few things, 5, 6, 7, 8, 25, 30. You're going to learn some things from these great coaches. Like I said, say what you want about him on the field. Ben Johnson, very braggadocious, loquacious, whatever you want to call him. He's all the above, but he wins. And that's all we care about. Bill Belichick, that goofiness, which we are going to get into in a second. Well, we'll get in that Monday on the flagship show. We're going to get into this whole Bill Belichick catastrophe, just really farce with the Hall of Fame, because I do want to get the panel's opinions on that, and I think that is absolutely, undeniably a wrong choice for them to do that. As I'm looking at ESPN here, they got the top WWE Royal Rumble moments, Royal Rumble weekend. So drop your favorite Royal Rumble moment also in the chat. Vote on the poll, like I said. Hit the thumbs up, hit the bell, subscribe if you're new. Nevertheless, he has been under Sean Payton, he's been under Ben Johnson, and I like that. He is the son of former Iowa football strength and conditioning coach Chris Doyle. Doyle. American football coach and former player. He played in the league and strength and conditioning coach with the University of Iowa up until 2020. He did receive some backlash. Oh, he did resign because he did receive backlash about a post at Iowa, a controversial pass at Iowa, excuse me. But he did play college football on the offensive line at Boston University as well. So let's get to it, though. Let's go here. So now the Bears lose their third member of the organization this offseason. That's what happens when you win in sports. People poach your coaches. People poach your players. People poach people that are vital and have contributed to your success, especially when a team like the Bears goes from what? Worst to first? That's what happens. And you see the offensive abilities of Caleb Williams and his team. I love to see it. Declan Doyle becomes the third member of the Bears organization hired to a larger role this offseason. Assistant general manager Ian Cunningham is now the Falcons GM. The Bears have drafted really, really well also. That goes into it. So shout out to Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham now going to Atlanta, who's been drafting well also. Last year, their draft class was really good. Running back coach Eric Bieniemy, I'm very happy to hear this. He's going back to the Chiefs as their offensive coordinator. Remember, Patrick Mahomes had his MVP seasons with Eric Bieniemy. Then also Doyle takes on play calling duties as the Ravens offensive coordinator. So he's essentially getting a promotion because he didn't call plays. Kind of the question we have in Baltimore. Well, who's going to be the defensive coordinator because he ain't calling plays? Mentor explicitly said, and that's all I wanted to really hear from him. What was the process like getting the job? What made him take this job? What does he plan to do with his defense and some of the pieces on his defense to get the best out of players like he's done with Derwin James, Adafe Owe, Khalil Mack, and countless others on that Chargers defense? Because they were a really, really good defense last year and really good in points, and they were really good in getting turnovers also. And they got pressure on the quarterback. So he's going to bring in a DC, but what is the DC going to do if he's not calling plays? That's probably the biggest apprehension I've seen from Ravens flock right now with looking at Doyle because, oh, he didn't call plays. Oh, this is his first time calling plays week one. Oh, how is he going to work with calling plays? He really was just there. He was just, but when you're in the presence of greatness, like I said, you be a sponge, you soak it in, you learn all you can, you add every tool you can to your tool belt, and you then store the information, you internalize it, you reciprocate, you reorder, you record, and you react, and you apply your own unique taste to it, which you will do with this offense, and you add that in to what you know from your experiences as a player and your coaching experience, and you come up with your scheme. And I think that's what Doyle's going to do. So Doyle, part of the Bears organization, who now loses their third member of the organization. As mentioned, they are both 29 years of age. New Ravens offensive coordinator Declan Doyle and quarterback Lamar Jackson are both 29 years of age. I like going young. I don't know the ages of all the offensive coordinators in the NFL. A lot of guys call plays, coaches. Some offensive coordinators are over 30. I mean, even Davis Webb is 30, and he was getting offensive coordinator, or he's going to probably become offensive coordinator now in Denver, but he was getting head coaching opportunities, as with Nate Shellhouse in LA. He's 30. You have the guy in Jacksonville, the OC, he's 30. So a lot of young guys. We know about McVay. We know about some of the young geniuses. O'Connell. We've had Zach Taylor. We've had a lot of young coaches, Shanahan. So that's the new wave. Everybody's going young. Now, I like the fact that you go young because you've had Todd Monken, who's a little bit older, more aggressive, more in your face, old school, hard nose. I'm going to get up in your grill, tell you that you suck. That play was terrible. What the hell are you doing? Get some sense. And he's going to go to a younger Declan Doyle. And I like innovative. I put it in the title. That is what the Ravens offense has lacked. That is what the Ravens offense has been missing. That is what the Ravens offense has been lacking for years with Lamar Jackson. You have an innovative quarterback. You have an innovative running back. You have an innovative wide receiver. You saw a breakout in Zay Flowers. What happens with Isaiah Likely? Who knows? What happens with Tyler Linderbaum? Who knows? I think both end up in New York, or one ends up in New York, one ends up in New England, possibly. We'll see how it plays out. You have potentially on offense most of the pieces that you need. Obviously, the offensive line needs to be improved. That falls on Eric DeCosta. But Doyle coming in here, Declan Doyle, same age as Lamar Jackson, they're banking on the fact, and Mentor spoke to his relationship and talking with Lamar. He was here before. Like I said, I like what he said about, he spoke to Lamar. He wants to maximize, and the window is open long as he has Lamar as his quarterback because he's the best player in the league. Everybody's quarterback is the best quarterback in the league, but I do agree. Lamar is the best quarterback in the league. And if you say Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league, I agree with you too. I love Josh Allen. So it is what it is. It's a matter of perspective, to each their own. I won't argue with you either way. But when you have a guy like Lamar, you want to maximize his prime. Lamar will be 30 years old after this coming season. You don't have a lot of time left, okay? Lamar's already been here 8 years. Derrick Henry, how many more years is he going to rush for 1,500 plus yards? They're going to have to make an option or a decision on the option of Zay Flowers, $28 million this offseason. Are they going to pick it up? I feel like they're not, because they have to, one, renegotiate Lamar Jackson. But again, like I said, with the Jesse Minter thing, Steve Bisciotti said he's not going to give his players power. He's not going to give his players the ability to make decisions. He's going to listen to their input. He's going to really, really take into consideration their opinions and what they want. But he's not going to give them power to make decisions. You have to at least consult. You have to at least confer, communicate with your star players. Like they mentioned, Eric DeCosta even said yesterday, which I like, he talked to several veteran players on offense and defense. If it's offense, it's probably three to four guys I'm talking to. And honestly, one of them is a free agent, maybe five. Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay, Andrews, and if we're talking a lineman, Linderbaum, and Likely maybe. But like I said, they're free agents. So can you talk to them? Can't, because they're free agents. Defensively, Roquan, Kyle Hamilton, maybe Marlon Humphrey, Travis Jones. There are people you can talk to. But I want to see, like I said, what Jesse Minter is going to do with his defense. Guys like Mike Green, the pass rushers, Travis Jones. What is he going to do in the back end with Kyle Hamilton, moving him around? What is he going to do with Roquan Smith? What is he going to do with, hopefully, them bringing back an Darius Washington, or however they mix and match this defense, and what players he wants to implement his scheme with? But back to Doyle, they're both 29 years of age. I like going young. I like going innovative, because I feel like Doyle is going to take what he did and learned from Sean Payton. He's going to take and learn what he did from Ben Johnson. He's going to sprinkle in a little dash of Doyle magic, hopefully. He's going to put and implement an offense that will hopefully get the most out of Lamar Jackson. Now, what does that offense hopefully look like? Like I said, you're bringing a guy like Doyle. Mentor wanted him, it seems. Mentor got him. And I think Lamar, like I said, with the whole Mentor hire, you consult Lamar. Okay, Lamar, we got Mentor. Mentor wants to hire Doyle, not Cliff Kingsbury, who I guess things fell apart. It seemed like as soon as that story about him in the Athletic with Diana Rossini talking about old Ravens players on offense are vehemently going to bat for Cliff Kingsbury and they want him as offensive coordinator. That may be true, but those discussions just died down quickly. And I haven't heard nothing about Cliff Kingsbury being considered for a head coaching position, right? Because he's not getting the Vegas job. I think that's going to Kubiak. And I think the Cardinals job may be going to, can Larry Fitzgerald be the coach at this point? Kurt Warner? Any other Cardinal greats that I'm missing? I don't know. Name a great Cardinals player. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, because that's how bad they've been. But Larry Fitzgerald, can he be the coach of the Cardinals? Do you want to coach in that division? Do you want to coach that team? Kyler Murray is going to be gone. Jacoby Brissett's your starter. Yeah, that's just Siberia. Siberia where things go to die in the NFL. That's now the Arizona Cardinals. It's no good thing coming over there, and they are in cap hell as well. Let's not forget that if you didn't know. So, nevertheless, we don't know who's going to take the Cardinals job. They'll probably be the last to hire someone. We'll see who they hire because everyone is either going back to their respective teams if they haven't been hired, or they're getting elevated to offensive coordinator positions, and they'll be part of the cycle next year. Next year is going to be crazy. You're going to have a lot of young up and comers who've had another year of seasoning, another year of baking in the oven, another year of really honing their craft and getting better at what they do, having more responsibility, and really being ready to be coaches. So, yeah, it could be a situation like that. Obi-Wan Shinobi, shout out to you. Thank you for putting that. It could be the agent. But Diana Rossini, I think there was where there's smoke, there's fire. I think they like what they saw, what he did with Jaden Daniels, but maybe they thought in the long haul it wasn't going to work out. And if they bring in Mentor, if they believe in the vision, they want to work with Mentor. Seems like they signed off on Mentor. They know a lot of people in the Chargers organization, a lot of players in the league. They talk. They have the same agents. They played on teams together in the past, so they have a relationship. They know we've seen, and I like that players went out of their way or didn't go out of their way to congratulate Mentor. It lets me know that he is a player's coach, and that is going to be good. Harbaugh was a player's coach. That's going to be good. That's going to be good for Mentor that he can connect with the players. He seems to have a good grasp of what it's going to take to be a head coach. He seems to be made of the right stuff. He seems to have the right makeup. He seems like a cool, calm, collected guy. Like he gets up and he can get fiery, but he's not going to get too off his rocker. So bring in Mentor, who's not an old guy, who has been at the college ranks, has failed and succeeded and won at the highest of levels and has brought it to the NFL. You're bringing Doyle potentially to Baltimore here. Well, not potentially. You're bringing him into Baltimore here, 29 years of age. You got to be able to connect with the quarterback. Among all else, before anything else, if they don't do nothing else, they better get along with number 8. They better get along with Lamar Jackson. They better understand how to communicate and get the best out of Lamar Jackson. Now we're going to see if things change with the practice time, the practice schedule, practicing in the morning instead of the evening. That's what we're going to see. But I think there's a time that the Ravens did something that we've been asking for, going young, being innovative. Now, a lot of us, like myself, did want an offensive coach, but they're getting an offensive coordinator. Now, what does this mean for T. Martin? We know Lamar Jackson and T. Martin are very, very close. Does T. Martin stay on as offensive coordinator or as quarterback coach potentially? That could happen. That could happen. We'll see. But they go Doyle. Doyle, like I said, can bring some of that Sean Payton, can bring some of that Ben Johnson. We've seen what he was able to do working with Caleb Williams. We've seen what he was able to do working with under Sean Payton, Bo Nix. So those are things that are good as well. Now, I just see the Seahawks are for sale as well. Interesting. Doyle is nearly 6 months younger than Patrick Mahomes, and 2 months before Doyle's first birthday in 1997, Andy Reid earned his first Super Bowl ring as Green Bay's tight end coach. So look at that. Doyle is a former tight ends coach. Like I said, the Ravens use tight ends as well as anybody. They use 3 tight ends. You look at Chicago. What did Chicago do well? They ran the football well. They ran the football with 2 running backs. They used 2 tight ends. They were able to get the ball to multiple receivers. Like I said, the improving things I want to see, the improvements I want to see from the Ravens offense. I want to see innovative play calling, creative play calling, execution in the red zone, scoring touchdowns instead of field goals, and on short yardage, being able to convert. And last but not least, don't take Derrick Henry out of the game when he's red hot and he's running over guys and he is really controlling the tempo, controlling the momentum, controlling the outcome of the game. Run the damn football. Situational awareness at the offensive coordinator and head coaching position are going to be paramount. I said it. This hire is not about Jesse Minter. I think Jesse Minter is a safe hire, yes. I think they panicked and rushed when they could have had Kubiak or could have had whoever they wanted after the Super Bowl. I agree. But safe doesn't mean bad. Predictable doesn't mean bad. He's made of the right stuff. He's from the Harbaugh tree. He's familiar with the people in the organization. He's familiar with the players. The Ravens felt comfortable giving him the keys to the kingdom because they don't fire coaches like the Steelers. So these guys, Mike McCarthy, they're going to be here 5 or 6 years at least. You can book that. But Shadi said he's going to get a guy 5 years. But we don't have 5 years. We need to get over the hump and finish the deal now. Not later, now. Not tomorrow, now. Not 2 or 3 years from now, now. Because nothing is promised. You look around the AFC, New England's only going to get better. Buffalo got Joe Brady. I like Joe Brady. I would have took Joe Brady here in whatever capacity. Head coach, offensive coordinator. They aren't going anywhere. The Steelers, Bengals, Browns, we know how the AFC North get down. The Texans ain't going nowhere. The Colts are still going to be in the mix. Look at the Jaguars. They won 13 games. The Chiefs will be back, I think. I think they get Jeremiah Love in the draft. I think Kelsey maybe plays one more year. Mahomes is going to do something where he comes back week 1. He's going to work whatever type of magical voodoo, whatever type of Freemasonic ritual, whatever he has to do, blood sacrifice, he's going to do it to get back on that field week 1 in 2026. They're going to get him Jeremiah Love. They're going to probably get Tyreek Hill back. They're going to be back. The Broncos with Bo Nix, they showed a lot. They impressed me. That defense is good. The Chargers, they are Ravens West. You know they're going to be right in the mix with Jim. So the AFC is loaded. It is only getting better. Mendoza will be number 1 pick in Vegas. Clint Kubiak going there potentially. So the AFC is loaded. And I say that to say, you got to be on your shit. You got to be able to get it done because it ain't getting no easier. Lamar's not getting any younger. Derrick Henry's not getting any younger. Zay Flowers not getting any cheaper. The free agency list each year only grows. The salary cap may go up, but so do players' salaries and contracts on your team. So that's going to be something we see as well. I do see this. I just want to touch on this. Seahawks will go on sale after the Super Bowl 60. They could set a record for an NFL team, $7 to $8 billion. Interesting. Okay, we'll see. We'll see with that. But that is what I'm saying. But he's 29 years of age. I like it. He can communicate with Lamar. He's young. He's innovative. He's worked in the right systems that you can now implement with a Lamar Jackson. And as much as I love Caleb Williams, as much as I love what they done with Bo Nix out in Denver, Lamar Jackson is on another level. He is on another level. It's levels to this. Lamar Jackson's on another level. He's a 2-time MVP, should be 3-time. He's an all-pro. He's a guy who has done it at the highest levels. He just needs to do it in the playoffs. And that's the biggest gripe. And like I said, I think Minter's going to win 9 or 10 games just off of his ability as a coach. Like I said, safe isn't bad. Predictable isn't bad. They rushed and panicked, but it's not a bad thing. I thought the offensive coordinator position hire was as important as the head coach hire, if not more important. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with the tight ends. He's had experience with that. He has experience with the running game. He has experience with the quarterback who can move around. They can use that in the offense, hopefully more bootlegs, more waggles. Let Lamar use his legs to roll out. Give him an option like you see with Josh Allen, Bo Nix, and others to run or pass, to extend plays. Drake May, you see it. You seen it last week, the last play of the AFC Championship game that clinched the win, their trip to the Super Bowl. They got Drake May outside the pocket, allowed him to use his athleticism, his will to win, his speed, his just ability to win. If my quarterback is running at his full speed and has the ability to get 5 yards against your defender, your lineman, your linebacker, whomever, I'm going to take my quarterback. That's why you see on 3rd and 5, Josh Allen's going to take a quarterback power up the middle or outside, and they're still going to get it because that will, that ability, that power. Football is a game about mano y mano, man on man. I'm moving you the hell out the way to get where I'm going, which is the end zone. Now, with that said, the offense, like I said, they can use the tight ends, all 3 of them, because I think they'll draft the tight end if they lose likely. They can use 2 running backs. Mitchell, Derrick Henry. Don't take Derrick Henry out the game in crucial moments. I think there's another level to unlock with Zay Flowers. I think he can be an even better receiver. I think Zay Flowers is probably a top, 15 to 20 receiver. He's in that range. You've seen the ascension of JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, who was taken after Zay Flowers. You see the ascension of guys like that. That's the ascension you want to see from Zay Flowers because there is another level for Zay Flowers. He can get to that JSN level, hopefully. Now, I'm not saying he's going to, catch 2,000 yards almost, but he can still ascend to another level as a receiver. They can use him even in better ways, vertically. They use him horizontally on the screens and things like that. Monk can love the screens on third and 5, 3rd and 6 is he would catch it, but he would fumble. I like using him vertically. I like moving him around more. Let's see what we can unlock with Rashad Bateman if he's going to be here. What can they do with the tight ends? Using 2 running backs. Maybe, I don't know, put both running backs on the field together at the same time. You ever thought about that? You have a Patrick Ricard. So I really don't think the issue for the Ravens is the offense, really. Yes, the offensive line needs to be improved. But honestly speaking, if Lamar Jackson is just healthy, Lamar Jackson is just who he is. If Lamar Jackson shows up, rolls out of bed, and is 100% healthy, or as healthy as he can be in the NFL season, because we know as the weeks lean on, you ain't never healthy 100%. They're going to win 70+% of their games. That's why I said Jesse Minch is good. He's coming to the best situation. He's smiling. He's smiling like a Cheshire cat. He's happy. He's excited because, baby, he gets to tell his wife and family, I get to coach one of the best players in the league. I get to coach a guy who will abstain my sins. I can make a mistake, but that brother is so good, he can save me from myself. That's what he gets with Lamar Jackson. He still got Derrick Henry. I say Kobe and Shaq and Kobe. You can say whoever is whoever in the chat, but Shaq and Kobe, you guys, Zay Flowers out there. The offense ain't the issue for the Ravens. Like I said, they need to get back to who they are. Situationally, being effective on short yardage. When you have a lead, stick to the running game. Don't panic. Use Derrick Henry. Let the big boy eat. Let the big boy get going. Feed him. Let him eat and let him do his thing. Because when he gets going and he gets lathered up, you see he's one of the best running backs of all time. And the numbers back it up. Look at the yards. Look at the touchdowns. Look at the games of over 100 plus, 150 with multiple touchdowns.
No bread, no water, just meat. That's one big son of a bitch!
But when you think about it, this is something the Bears were the only team last year. I want to point this out. If you don't remember nothing else from the stream, just remember this. The Bears were the only offense in the NFL. Just listen to this. The only offense in the NFL, out of all 32 offenses, the only offense in the NFL to be top 10 in rushing and passing. So when we talk about balance, we want the Ravens to do things well, unlocking new things with Lamar's athleticism, using his legs more, allowing him to get rid of the ball so he doesn't have to take those unnecessary hits, using those screen passes, using those waggles, rollouts, and boots, using the ability of running the ball with Derrick Henry, switching it up, bringing in Keaton Mitchell. If Justice Hill is here, using him, using Lamar, throwing it to Zay Flowers vertically, using Bateman. I don't see Bateman going anywhere. They just paid him, and he doesn't have a market. He didn't do nothing this year. So Bateman's going to be here, in my opinion. Use him. Devontae Walker. I got to touch on Walker because I don't know what they're going to do with D-Hop. Do they bring him back? If there's one veteran out of D-Hop, Van Noy, Roquan, Humphrey, I think Roquan will be back because I don't think they would have Mentor take this job with no Roquan. So I think Roquan will be back. Humphrey, maybe if they can get him at a discounted price, I can see it just for the veteran aspect and what can Mentor do with him maybe one more year. But looking at it, let's see what happens with the brass of this team. I say that to say, like veterans, Hopkins, Van Noy. Like I said, I think Roquan's going to be here. Humphrey, I think Humphrey can go. You keep Roquan. Van Noy can go. I would bring back D-Hop. I say that to say I would bring back D-Hop. I would give him one more year with Lamar Jackson, one more year in a new offense that will actually utilize him a little more in different ways. Not just throw it up to him on third down. Oh, we know D-Hop's in the game. One-on-one on the outside. We know Lamar's going to drop back and throw it up to him. He's going to make a great catch. He's going to make a contested catch or get a pass interference or a defensive holding or an illegal contact, but it's predictable. Use D-Hop in different ways. Use D-Hop to maybe be a decoy. Use D-Hop, Hopkins, and Bateman in a triple bunch formation, trips bunch. Do different things that you see other teams doing, and you're like, why don't the Ravens do that? It's a simple thing. Like, it's a copycat league. Why aren't the Ravens copycatting some of the successful things that we see? So, like I said, I think I would bring back D-Hop if I could. Obviously, on offense, you want to bring back Linderbaum first and foremost, likely, and then maybe D-Hop. I would look at D-Hop to potentially come back. But I say that to say I want to see them unlock Devontae Walker probably as much as anybody else on his offense because we know what Zay is when he's right. We know what Bateman is when he's right. We know what Henry and Lamar. What is Devontae Walker when he's right and utilizing the right kind of offense? Is he a legit number 3 receiver? I think he's shown it. He's got the vertical speed. He can catch the football. He can really be the best vertical threat we've had because they don't use Zay vertically. They barely use Hopkins vertically. So he could be the best vertical deep threat they have. You could throw up to him 3 or 4 times a game, and he can be that deep threat. And all he did was what? Score touchdowns. So I want to see him unlocked going into year 3. I think there is something there that can be unlocked because the Bears used a lot of receivers. They used the type 2 tight ends. They used 2 running backs. They had the fullback working. They had a mobile quarterback. They have now their offensive line was just superior, which the Ravens needs to do like they did. Because first, as soon as they could with free agency, they start getting linemen, tuning, paying free agents, developing guys. So they went and addressed the offensive line first and foremost for their quarterback, which was a great move. But beside that, you got the tight ends, you got the running backs, you got the fullback, you got the receivers. You look at DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Luther Burden. They got him, drafted him this year. Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet. So those guys all together, they made a very unstoppable offense. Damn. The only reason the Bears lost was because of turnovers, self-inflicted. And that's been the Ravens' problem too, self-inflicted. Let's get rid of the self-inflicted. Let's get rid of the stigma of choking games away. But like I said, offensively, being better situationally on third down, when you have a lead running the football, using Derrick Henry right, not taking him out the game, using Zay Flowers and others. The red zone, being one of the best red zone teams like you were 2 years ago, and not one of the worst red zone teams like you were this past year. And like I said, situationally play calls, on certain situations, not allowing Lamar to take unnecessary shots, letting Lamar get outside the pocket and doing something creative. Those are things that you want to see. But definitely the red zone, situationally in whatever aspect, and closing out games. Just finish. Because like I said, I have no doubt in my mind that the Ravens can win 9 or 10 games with Mentor. They can get to the playoffs. But can they get it done in the playoffs? Can they do what the Seattle Seahawks are doing? Can they do what the New England Patriots are doing? And not even to talk about anybody specifically, but the fact out of the 2018 draft class, Lamar, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield. The first one to get into the Super Bowl was Sam Darnold. The first one is Sam Darnold. They should all be throwing up right now in their mouth that he's gotten to a Super Bowl before them. And that should motivate Lamar even the more. And I think Lamar is out to have a prove-it season. We saw what happened 2 years ago when he had a prove-it season, should have won MVP, first-team All-Pro. I think it's another Lamar Jackson prove-it season loading if they do the right things, especially if they can protect them up front with the offensive line. I agree, too, Obi-Wan Shinobi. They have to make adjustments. That's what I always say. The difference between good coaches and great coaches are adjustments. Harbaugh was a good coach. He was a very good coach. But what sometimes kept him from being great was his lack of in-game adjustments. And it didn't even have to be that he has to go in somebody's face and berate them because Monken was upstairs in the booth. I'm guessing Declan Doyle will be, I don't know if he'll be on the field upstairs. We'll see. But they're upstairs in their spaceship. So you can't really do much to them unless you're in the locker room. But I would like to have seen more adjustments throughout the game on both ends. Hey, guys, we aren't running the ball and we have a lead. Why don't we run some clock and preserve the lead and make the defense have to stop us, which they haven't done all day when we run the football. We're one of the greatest rushing teams of all time. What are we doing here? So I want to see that too. I agree. I like the hire, though. I give it a solid B+ with the potential to be an A- because I think he can unlock more of Lamar. He can really bring out other aspects of this defense. Like I said, the Bears had a lot of things like the Ravens had, multiple receivers, multiple running backs, multiple tight ends. So that's what I want to see from the Baltimore Ravens when it comes to Declan Doyle and, what they got with him. So I do want to, like I said, I am intrigued to see what specifically they do here offensively because, like I said, I want to see what he brings offensively, innovatively. What does he bring? And that's what I like to see. And you see here, you have to sometimes take a risk. You have to sometimes take a risk. And let's go here to Kevin Allstriker. Let me see. Shout out to Kevin Allstriker. And I agree with him. In order to maximize your window, sometimes you have to take risks. The Ravens are hiring Declan Doyle as their new offensive coordinator without having play calling experience. It's a risk, but a worthy one. Innovative, widely respected, and can gel seamlessly with an already high-flow Lamar Jackson-led offense. There you go. And Justin Matabike tweets, good news. I don't know. Jeff Zrebeck confirms the Ravens are hiring Declan Doyle, their next offensive coordinator. And like I said, Justin Matabike tweeting good news. This was today, not too long ago. He tweeting good news. I am on West Coast time currently, Pacific Standard Time. So please bear with me. I am a little behind. I'm in the past. You guys are in the future if you're on the East Coast and on Central Time. But yeah, Justin Matabike did talk about some good news. So we'll see what's up with that. But I'll definitely just keep you guys in the loop. Let's see what Ravens Live's talking about. Shout out to them over there. They're saying let them cook. Jesse mentioned Declan Doyle, Lamar Jackson will all win their first Super Bowl together. Mark my words. Okay. He's the youngest offensive coordinator in the NFL and in league history. So they take a gamble, a big one, a gamble we've never seen before at the youngest offensive coordinator in NFL and in league history. That's why I'm saying I know most coordinators that I'm thinking of off the top of my head or coaches that call plays, they're older than him. So like I said, even Davis Webb is 30 and the other guy's like 30, 31, 32. So Declan Doyle, youngest offensive coordinator in the NFL and in league history. Jackson gets a coach he can relate to and grow with. I completely agree. Now, Alvin, you just got into the chat, man. I basically was breaking down why I think he could help this offense. It's a risk. He has not called plays before, but Alvin, if you're here, I got you. Pretty much, I said this. He's been under Sean Payton. You saw what he's done with Bo Nix. He's been under Ben Johnson. You saw what he did with the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams. He has maximized multiple tight ends, multiple running backs, multiple receivers, a quarterback that can move. He has mastered those things offensively and been around it. So he can add in what he has brought to the table. He has experience. He's played the game, and he can maximize Lamar Jackson. As much as I've grown to like Bo Nix over the last 2 years, as much as I like Caleb Williams before the draft and like him even more, I believe he will bring the Bears a Super Bowl in his career, finally. I think Lamar Jackson is even the more on another level, which he is. So you got Lamar. If you get Lamar healthy, you're getting 70+% winning percentage right there. So you got Lamar healthy. You got Derrick Henry still can rush for over 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 yards. You got Zay Flowers. You can bring out something with Bateman. I want to see him unlock a Devontae Walker. I want to see him unlock some of the other pieces to this offense. Maybe bring back a D-Hop. That is what it's going to take. It is a good risk to take because everybody in the league has the same mindset. Let's go different. Let's be different. Let's be innovative. Let's go get a guy who there's some unknown to, which can be a little scary, but with his ability to be widely respected among the league, and players know, and players talk to other players. Like I said, they don't make this move without consulting Lamar Jackson, much like the Jesse Minter move. So I think make sure you vote on the poll, by the way, as everybody in the chat. Would I rather have this guy over Kingsbury? Just like you said, it's a risk with this guy, but seeing that he has many players, but I don't mind this either. And the more I talk about this guy, the more I talk him up, the more I look at his pedigree, what he's been through, where he's come from. We don't know about him. We know about Kingsbury. Honestly, Kingsbury, yeah, I would have been cool with it, but Kingsbury is notorious for sometimes not running the ball, sometimes not making the right calls in crucial moments, which we've seen with previous coordinators before. Love you, Todd Monk, and think you're going to do solid in Cleveland. Greg Roman bought Lamar and helped make Lamar an MVP as well. We've seen it too many times where Ravens coordinators just forget to do the simple things. Run the ball. Sometimes if they're packing the box, run the ball outside. Do a toss play. Do a pitch play. Do a counter. Do something. Throw some screen passes. Throw the ball down the field. Let Lamar do his thing. I think it's a good move. I'm giving it a solid B+, and I think it's a potential to be an A-, A move when it's all said and done because all three of these guys, yeah, it's their first year together, but I think there could be an opportunity for him to really flourish in this offense. They let him do what he needs to do on the offensive side of the ball, which I think Jesse Minter will do, and I want to see who else he brings in with him as well on his staff, Jesse Minter and Doyle, who they bring with them. Quarterback coach, like I said, do they keep T. Martin? Do they go get someone else that is regarded to help out with the offense, pass game coordinator, quarterback coach, whatever, however they want to do it? That is going to be interesting to see. And I do think that it's funny the timing of this too. They didn't announce it. They didn't announce it yesterday. They had the press conference, so this was probably already in the works. And they said during the press conference yesterday they were deep into the coaching search, so we knew that something was going to happen soon. I thought maybe it would be next week, if anything, but they're doing it this weekend. Like I said, I don't know who like the late Friday news dump. They love to do that. So it ain't really, they don't have to answer questions or talk about it. It's out there, and we'll see it next week, and it'll die down a little bit. We'll talk about it, but it won't be as hot as it was if we did it yesterday with the press conference. So we ain't had to answer questions. Now, Declan Doyle. I got to get that soundbite. I agree. I mean, Monken will only go as far as a run off takes him, but they had a really good draft class here. They had one of the top 3 to 5 draft classes in the NFL. I mean, say what you want about Shador, say what you want about Gabriel, say what you want about whomever, Quinshon Judkins, Mason Graham, Harold Fanning. They had really an A draft. I mean, I can't hate on them. And Shador was 3 and 4 as a starter. He wasn't terrible. He made some terrible plays. He made some rookie plays. He needs pieces around him. He needs to be a quarterback that can have the good pieces around him. He needs a good offensive line. He needs some receivers. But I think if Todd Monken can maximize what he did with Lamar, if he can do what he did with Shador, and Shador really takes the Monken and they work and they are in synergy, and Shador doesn't mind being coached hard, and I'm sure Monken's probably talked to Dion. If they can all be on one accord and Shador is working this offseason and doing the things that Monken thinks he needs to do to be successful. Monken has worked with Lamar Jackson and brought the best out of him to be an MVP. I think he can do a lot of good things for Shador. They can run the ball. They need, like I said, to fix their trenches and get weapons, but Monken can call plays. Monken's a really good play caller. He's experienced. I'd rather Monken go to Cleveland than Arizona. I'd take the Cleveland Browns job. The Browns job isn't as bad as Stefanski won Coach of the Year twice, and they still got rid of that brother. I mean, some people just never satisfied. They don't like nice things. So Cleveland is just Cleveland. Cleveland's going to Cleveland. Haslam and those boys paying Deshaun Watson. They have not been right since. Terrible, but it is what it is. That's their cross to bear. But I think Monken could have them in 3rd place over the Steelers, and I would not be surprised if the Ravens and the Bengals are fighting it out. So that's what I'm going to be definitely looking at this upcoming season with Declan Doyle. But Ravens fans are feeling good. This is how Ravens fan, they dancing over there. I'll show it to y'all. A little Friday feel good. There you go. This is how they feeling about Declan Doyle in Baltimore. Here you go. There you have it. I think Declan Doyle is going to work. The Doyle fruit. We don't need a fruit cup offense. They need to be physical, aggressive. And like I said, he worked under Ben Johnson. He worked under Sean Payton. What coordinators, what coaches are better at making adjustments, in-game adjustments, drive-by-drive adjustments? Sometimes goofy with Ben Johnson and the trick. He can leave that too. We don't need all the gadget trick plays all the time. If you want to break out a hook and ladder when needed and it's executed and blocked right, cool. But if we don't need all those wide receiver, double reverse passes, wide receiver screen, backward passes, flea flickers, we don't need all that. We don't need to get too cute. Like I said, we don't need to be fruit cups. Be physical, be dominant, be aggressive, establish our will, play Baltimore Ravens football, be the bully, and don't get bullied. So, that's really all I got. We'll get to the Bill Belichick stuff on the flagship podcast on Monday. We'll get to the trade deadline and the NBA is coming up. We will get to some of the other NFL news, the goofiness in Minnesota with their GM getting fired while he's at the Senior Bowl. African brother. Don't know why. After they just, like I said, sent him down there and they've been eliminated. They didn't even make the playoffs and they knew they weren't in the playoffs and they could have did this after the season. Why would you do this now when you're thick of scouting and getting ready for the Senior Bowl, East-West Shrine game, and the NFL Combine next month? It's just ridiculous up in Minnesota. And I guess this is his penance for allowing Sam Darnold to walk into Clint Kubiak and Mike McDonald in the Seattle Seahawks organization arms, huh?
Stupid. Just stupid.
You're fired.
There you have it. I've been talking to y'all for almost an hour. I didn't even realize I was on here for an hour. If you missed the beginning of the stream, I'm not home. I'm not at the normal setup. If you guys can do me a favor, I know people are coming in and coming out. I appreciate y'all spending your Friday happy hour. Yeah, it's happy hour on the East Coast, approaching happy hour here on the Pacific. If you guys are in the chat, how do I sound? How do I look? Did I give you what you wanted with Declan Doyle? Did I break it down for you? Did I give you the good? Did I give you the bad? Did I give you the ugly? They're the same age, him and Lamar, the youngest offensive coordinator in the NFL in league history. Innovative, creative, unpredictable, unknown. It's a big risk, but it hopefully will pay off. But let me know how I look, how I sound. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up. I want to hear from you in the chat. The best way to support what we do here on the podcast, hit the thumbs up, pushes us to the algorithm, lets others know the content that we do. And we got a big weekend ahead. Royal Rumble weekend, one of the biggest events of the year. The official road to WrestleMania begins. We will be live 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. You know we're going to be here. If I'm on Mars, I'm going to find a way to stream. I'm going to find a way to get in front of this camera and this microphone, get on this laptop, do what I got to do, move some stuff around, and hit that live button and give you guys the best content I know how. Hey, no script. Just hit the button and let it out, have a little therapy, talk about it, and we get into it as we're 9 days away from Super Bowl 60. Let me know how you're feeling about the Super Bowl. Let me know how you're feeling about the potential of some of these coaches, the hirings, the firings, the cycle that is Royal Rumble. Who are your predictions? I do think LA Knight returns tomorrow at the Rumble. I do think Roman Reigns will win the men's Rumble. I'm going Liv Morgan and the women. I think Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker, you're finding two in the men. I'm going Liv and Rhea for the women. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very big. I didn't even talk about Mickens. Yeah, that's a big, big, big move. That was an A move too. Guy who coached Kyle Hamilton, who has had some of the better defensive backs in Notre Dame history go to the NFL. Xavier Watts, don't forget about him at Notre Dame. I liked him a lot. I thought the Ravens maybe could have took him in the third round if they didn't take Malachi Starks and went pass rusher possibly. But big season incoming. I like Mickens for the DB room. He can hopefully help with some of those communication issues, guys running wide open. Yeah, Falcons O-line coach too. Can't forget him. Yeah, shout out to them. Great points, Alvin, because look at what he did with Bijan. Look at what he did with Algier, 2 running backs. The running game they have, one of the best in the NFL, like the Ravens and Bills and other teams. So I like that for the Ravens. I like that for some of the people they're bringing in, young, innovative, widely respected people in their professions at their position. So Doyle, yes. We got Doyle coming in, so that'll be funny. Yes, Paul definitely needs to push LA Knight. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but I think he'll be back. He'll probably at least eliminate one of the members of the division. We'll see what happens. But Declan Doyle, DD, double D, fruit cup, whatever you want to call him. We don't want a fruit cup offense, though. The guy has experience. He's been around the right coaches, and I'm really, really looking forward to what he's seeing. But it should be fun to see what happens. But for your LA Knight comment, I got the one time for the one time. Here you go, Obi-Wan. There you go. There you go. All right, I'm going to get out of here. We got SmackDown in about 2 hours. Yeah, less than 2 hours. About an hour and 50. So hit the live on that. We'll be here the night before the Royal Rumble. Literally hours away. Remember, 2 p.m., 1 p.m. Central, 11 a.m. Pacific. I'm here. So just wanted to come out here and break it down. I thought Mentor, 2 thumbs up on the press conference. Well, it was a little short. Like I said, we didn't hear from Bashadi. We heard a little bit from EDC. Seems like Lamar and other veterans were involved. Good. They strategically placed this new Friday. I get it. I like the hire. Bringing in the guys like this here from the Falcons. Bringing in the guys like this here from the Notre Dame level. So we got some guys who are going to be next up. I don't know who's going to be defensive coordinator. That's not the biggest issue of mine. We know Mentor's calling plays. Know he talked to Lamar. Know he talked to Harbaugh. Harbaugh said they should hire him. So they better not dawdle around. Shout out to Raj. Getting those Rumble previews out. We got Rumble previews out too. Can't forget that. I previewed each match for the Rumble, like I always do for each PLE, WWE. So I broke down each match, give you my predictions. How do I see things playing out? Fun facts. We did some Royal Rumble fun facts and trivia. We got all that fun stuff on the videos. Check it out. They're linked down below. All the previews. Only 4 matches, so 4 videos. Check it out. Hit the thumbs up. Best way to support what we do. Super chat us. Vote on the poll. Let us know what you think about the Declan Doyle hire. You like it, you love it. I did talk about the Matt BK tweeting out good news, and he wasn't talking about Declan Doyle. He tweeted out good news. I don't know what that means. Good news. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And it's funny. This is funny. Let me
for the first time in my life.
Let me see if I can play this real quick. Hold on. Let me get this for you. Here you go.
For the first time in my life, I'm proud to wear this suit. It means I'm an X-Man. I am the X-Man.
I hope that does happen. If y'all don't know, that is from Deadpool and Wolverine, the third act, the final scene. They were joining together to save the multiverse. So they're saying that's what it's like with having Lamar Jackson in the Ben Johnson style offense and Jesse Minter, and how the NFL is going to explode. So it's great to see. It's going to be great to see. So everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. They got their guy. They're happy. We got him. Love the Office memes. Always love that stuff. So, you know, they're dug in. They're dancing. They're shucking and jiving, as they say, as you saw the video I played. So, you know, we got it rocking. We got it rolling. So, yeah, there you go. We got it going. We got it roll. So, yeah, should be fun to see. We got a big weekend ahead. Like I said, Royal Rumble weekend. Let me see.
That's what I do, nigga.
Stole it.
Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit.
Sometimes you got to steal, lie, cheat, and steal, like the late great Eddie Guerrero said. Yeah, Jesse can cook. Yep, it's a gamble, man. It pays off. Yeah. Shout out to The Wire. Shout out to The Wire, one of the greatest shows of all time. All I can do is accept this. Hey, man, Ben Johnson, Sean Payton, all those people. He's cooking. He's got the big pot. He's doing what he needs to do. And it's going to be cool to see what they do. So that's all I got. I'm out of here. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. I'll see you in a few for SmackDown. Thank y'all for watching. Yours truly, God's favorite host. Have a great day, everybody. It's Friday. Enjoy it. Hug them. Tell somebody you love them. Big weekend, Royal Rumble. Watch the Rumble. Enjoy yourself. I know it's in Saudi. Let's make the most of it. Let's enjoy it. Let's say it's been a long week. Let's unwind, watch some pro wrestling. And the Flex Zone will be here to help you through, as we always are. Check out the previews of the channel. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you made it this far, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button, vote on the poll, super chat us. We'll see you for SmackDown. I'll be back in a few. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you as always. Peace. Declan Doyle. Doyle. I'm out of here, y'all. Thank you for watching. I'll see you at SmackDown back here on the channel. Peace.